Yo, yo.
Hey, bro, how are you?
I'm well. How about you? Good morning.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm
I
good,
guess.
thanks. You know what? I'm much more better. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not really, really better, which is good. Um, yes, I'm actually doing
Yeah,
like really.
I'm
Thanks
really
for
happy
making it
to,
again, man.
bro. It's my pleasure. It's amazing being a part of these talks, talking. I guess it's kind of redundant being a part of these talks and just giving a different perspective, or maybe the same perspective to some. I don't know, but I'm just glad to
Yeah,
be speaking with a peer.
yeah. I think it's something that I've been thinking for a while, and I was listening to Stereo Talk last night. They were uh kind of talking about something like this, but slightly different. But it was kind of similar in a lot of ways. Um, So yeah, so I guess the title is um does intentional dating work um in terms of marriage? Um because you've got don't wanna kind of go too quick, too far, but you got courting and you've got dating, but um we're in a day where people like to use the word dating um more than other words. So what's your not understanding of it, but what's your view on does dating work?
Uh,
Is
dating
dating gonna work?
works. If, dating works if the man is in the lead. If the man is not in the lead, then dating no longer works. Um, because who controls the relationship status quo is a man. A woman will ask a man, "What are we?" or "Where is this going?" Because she's realizing that she's either falling for this man or she is in limbo with this man and wants to. And there might be other suitors that are a little bit more serious or are saying different things or showing different things. But regardless, the woman typically asks about the relationship status, and the man usually asks about the sexual status to a woman. Um, it's equal
Mm,
exchange. It's just the way it is. If a man is in the lead, intentional dating will be very simple, and then the woman can decide if she wants to be around or whatever.
mm,
And the crazy part about it is, intentional dating is working in a sense because men are telling women, "I don't want to be married. I don't want to." I don't want to. I just want to do something casual. I just want to do something chill. I just want to be friends with benefits. And women are okaying that. So it's happening. But like you said, this is about marriage. So
mm,
I think a lot of people just need to pay attention to that first part. The moment this man is saying what his intentions are, you don't need to try to change those. You need to leave
mm.
or stick around. But
Or
but
stick
but
around.
yeah, but don't be the person that complains later on with your decision because that's incorrect. Like you people be making their intentions known.
Mm.
They really do. They really do.
I think it's at what point do you make those intentions known? Because I was watching something and um this couple were in a relationship for 12 or 11 years. Um, but she just kind of said that she wanted marriage. Um, and because it just wasn't spoken about, the guy just didn't want marriage because um, I guess he really saw himself in a type of marriage, if that makes sense, right? Because they've been together for so
Mm,
long. Um, and then it just started, from what I saw on the show, it just started a lot of issues within the couple. Um, I think dating, when I just look at dating for marriage, if when people want to go down that route, I think it doesn't work as people would want it to work because there's no communication to start off with in the beginning. And there's a lot more factors into that, why it doesn't work. But I was also looking at the meaning of dating, and it doesn't really give it doesn't really give a meaning that it gives a meaning. Well, basically, it's dating someone. Dating someone means you're seeing somebody specific with a purpose, and on a regular basis, and that's it. I'm like, okay, but it doesn't really go into what is that purpose because again, like what you said, right? Dating does have a dating is intentional depending on what you want, but when it comes to marriage, though, not everybody gets that outcome because of some basic things you need to ask before you even get deep in that relationship. A lot of people I find want to
Mm,
do casual relationships, or I'm just looking for someone. Yeah, I'm just kind of just want somebody to be with while I'm doing my studies. For example, you get out. I remember when I was
right.
in my,
Okay, I get
you
that.
know, what I
I
mean,
get that. Yeah.
yeah, I remember when I was in college, I had a lot of people saying that I just want someone for now because I'm studying and life is boring, and you get those just casual talks, but there is no purpose, long-term purpose for finding somebody. Um, then when you look at the word courting, um, it's to be involved with someone romantically with the intention of marrying. Um,
Mm,
and usually the set of people that use that word, courting, and go through that process are mainly people of, uh, they stem from different various people of faith, example, Christians, it could be Muslims. Um, so does dating for marriage work? I would say not completely. I think it can, but that communication needs to be set early before you
so
even
that
go into it.
that's what I'm saying though. Is like it works. Just people aren't saying what they people are saying what they want, and either people are just going along with it. Because, like you said, the young lady in the situation just said something 11 years later, and it's like,
Mm. You there, bro? What's happened? Hang on, hang on. Mm. Sorry, guys. It looks like he's
man,
disconnected. Sorry, bro. I can hear you
oh
now.
no,
You cut off for literally a couple of seconds.
oh, wait. Oh, that's I don't know. The Wi-Fi be acting a little weird. It's okay. I cut it off. Um, yeah, that initial conversation is like you said, that first date or that first real all night conversation where you guys are being school kids and oh, you hang up and you hang up. Okay, but where's this going?
Mm,
That like everybody's scared of that. Everybody's scared of being left alone because, oh man, this might scare them away. Okay, so if you're trying to be somewhere, there's a time limit for it, especially with
mm,
marriage. If you think that it's going to get any easier at the age of 28 or the age of 38 or 48, you're sadly mistaken. So, women, you got to say what you think you deserve. You need to move in that vein. If men are dodging that conversation, that's already an answer. Oh, well, I'll get
mm,
back to you, but it's been 4 months or it's been 4 years. No,
mm,
your time should be important because, especially for women, y'all have a biological clock. The eggs will stop eventually.
mm.
Like it's just it's a timed commodity. If you feel
Yeah.
like you want to be with someone, you don't need to rush it per se, but you need to say it. There's nothing wrong with being attracted to a man to the point of wanting to marry him, but you don't need to be around the said man that's super attractive that is not interested in marrying you because you're just accepting disrespect at that point.
Right.
There's no point.
Yeah. No, yeah, you've definitely got a point. And I think as well we need to when people do get into a situation where they are looking to date, What sort of what are they getting into? Because you've got intentional dating, which
Mhm.
which you could kind of mix with, people again, people don't use the word courting anymore, but intentional dating has the word intentional, then you've got dating. Then you've got casual dating. And I looked at the word casual dating, i.e., casual relationship, and it means a
Mhm.
casual relationship is a kind of relationship where there is no clear rules or long-term
Mm.
commitments towards the relationship. So it's just not clear. And and I've seen when I was younger, I've had people that their intentions for dating, um, it's just not clear in terms of their intentions. I saw a post yesterday on Twitter and it said, "You're only looking for something casual. Why are you talking to me 24/7 and planning fake dates that that you're never going to take me on? Seems kind of weird, but I guess I'll play along. I will hurt my own feelings." That's very damaging when you hear that because clearly you can see that
Yeah.
someone is not dating you for a purpose. I'm reading this, I'm thinking she looks like she wants something long term. Most definitely could be marriage. But because the person is he's being consistent, but from what she's saying, but it's not with the right intentions that line up to you, but you're willing just to stay there in that situation and risk being
Mhm.
hurt. Why? Maybe because you've got a good guy, you don't want to go looking anywhere else. But there's nothing wrong though in having standards for yourself and saying, look, I don't want this. I need to break off from it.
I feel like that's so correct. I have no retort for that. That's correct. Because I mean,
Yeah.
you people like that that's complaining while co-signing. The phrase or the thing that she said was, "I guess I'll go along with it." Why?
Yeah.
What is? And then you mentioned you was like, well, because it seems like she wants a long-term relationship, but she's just going along with it. But that's where the damage starts. That's
Yep.
exactly what happens. It's not, and it's not going to change when women take their time more seriously, and when men take their time more seriously, because it happens both sides.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, bro.
when they take their time more seriously, you'll start seeing more productive communication. You'll start seeing more honest communication. There's no point, and I think a lot of times what inhibits people from moving on is the soul ties, is the sexual relations. You got women
Mm,
and men having sex, and then it's harder to go away because it's good, because they are
mm,
sweet, they are decent. A lot of people complaining, but they like that connection, they like that closeness. And then when it's time to really look at where y'all are headed, y'all heading nowhere fast, but y'all still have
mm,
sex. And now y'all are
mm,
having sex with no intentions. And the man is allowed to run rampant and constantly go back to, well, we just chilling, or yo, we cooling it. That's because you got a man that was doing things casually, and you was
mm.
okay with the casually, and then
Yeah.
you didn't specify that you would like it to bloom. You was just waiting. That's the danger with waiting. That's why intentions are so important. That's why jobs ask you, so what made you want to be here?
Yeah, right. They need to know your
Because
intentions and purpose.
yeah, exactly. I need to know because what if you just gonna be a 3 monther? Well, we can start putting out the ad for a position in the 2 month area because we know that somebody like you will be getting ready to leave. And
Yeah,
and when
yeah.
you start doing
I
that to
never named
men,
for that. Yeah.
when women start doing that to men, when men start doing that to women, it's gonna change everything. It's gonna weed out the weaker links, the ones that don't want,
Mm,
or not even the weaker links. Just weed out the ones that's not like minded. How can two walk together unless they agree?
mm,
It's
right.
true. It's not changing just because sex is involved. No, it's just gonna take a little longer because somebody's too busy having an orgasm for the 12th time that night, and they just are their mind is blown, and they've never had
Mm.
that. But then the rest is bare minimum. Men and
And that's
women
why,
are
yeah.
Okay, go ahead. No, no, go ahead, go ahead.
Sorry, bro, I didn't mean to cut you.
No, 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 no. We
No,
talking. We talking. We talking.
yeah. No, you're so on point though. I was listening to something yesterday, and the guy was saying that, when he dates now, he wants to wait for a good couple of months before intimacy is even spoken about or even considered. When I mean
Yeah,
intimacy, I'm mainly talking about sex.
yeah.
Because it can cloud your judgment on a lot of people that you meet or that meet, i.e., people that you're dating. Sometimes you need a clear view on who the person you're dating, what their values are, where do they want to go. That needs to be clear first before you start doing that. That's what he was saying, and I agreed to that because I've done it myself, and I saw a big change in it because you're learning what that person likes, wants, feels, what makes them happy and sad. Imagine, bro, if you're always when every time you meet, you're always in the bedroom, you won't get to know much. You won't. And a year can go by quickly now these days. So imagine a year's gone past and she or he's starting to wonder, hang on, where's this going? You know? Um,
Mm.
so I understand why he said that, and that's very important. What's your views on that though?
Um, I think, and
Yeah,
the
you have to go
question.
too far into it, but
Okay, okay, and the question is, say it one more time.
so what's your views on waiting, or not
Okay, yeah,
rushing
yeah, yeah.
straight away into? I'm not putting a month or
No,
whatever
no,
on it,
no.
but
There's no
just
time limit. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
I feel like waiting is important. Because it's patience will always be an element of any healthy relationship. And
okay,
something as important as linking up a soul, you wanna see. You just want to see what that individual is on the inside. First, it's just like people can fake an interview for an hour. People can fake dates
true.
because to me, dates are interviews. You could put a smile on, you could put the cologne on, the perfume on, and wear the push-up bra, wear the gray sweatpants, whatever. You could do that
Mm,
multiple times and look tasty, look delicious. And then once it happens, they crack. Now it's all right, I got you. Because I know I put it down last night. And so now you gotta put up with me because you want something I got. You're a fiend
mm,
at that point. It's better to save yourself so you can see the intentions of somebody and then you can just kind of cut loose. You don't have to worry about that. Um, if you are a Christian, you need to be waiting. There's a
mm,
you need to be waiting. To me, Christians, y'all have a stronger reserve. Y'all have a stronger uh spiritual essence. It's solidified. And
mm,
so if that's cracked, if that's tarnished, or no, I don't want to use tarnished. If it's interlocked with the wrong person,
mm,
you have other beliefs that will make you stay involved. That's why you gotta wait. Because all you hear is other Christians like, well, that's my person, and I don't believe in divorce, or I'm trying, and this, that, and the third. Long
yeah,
suffering, that's only applied to the eligible.
mm,
Eligible meaning if this person is really your person, they would have been siding with you with the waiting. If this person really is your person, they would accommodate you in whatever you needed. We're not
right,
talking about, we're gonna date for 3 years and then we probably gonna get married by the 6th year. No, that's just a waste of time. We're talking about real intentions here. I'm really attracted to you. I'm thinking about marriage. How you feel about that? But that's the third date. Intentions was already set first one, long term.
mm,
Then they have more conversation. Look, I want to marry you. I'm financially, obviously, we got some things we got to cover, but let's do it now.
yeah,
Y'all, if y'all having sex, okay, that's your person though.
mm,
Y'all have understanding. Y'all having a negotiation.
yeah,
So terms have been established. It can only be honored. There's a safe space to cut loose, to get what you need because y'all not going nowhere. But a lot of people, they they be 1 foot in the door, 1 foot out. And so,
True.
that just but going back to the question, I believe if you are a Christian, you should be waiting. You should be waiting, you should
Mm,
be waiting. If you are not a Christian, if you are practicing other faiths that involve that waiting till marriage, then follow the guidelines. It's there for a reason. Stop thinking you
yeah.
special. You can cheat the system that you applied for. You chose to be
Mm,
a Christian. You chose to be a Buddhist. You chose to be a monk or whatever. If those rules are there, they're there for a reason because they know silly people like the individual that chooses not to wait but still professing salvation. There's
mm.
backlash for that. You reap what you sow.
Yeah,
God
and
is
yeah, and I can definitely agree with what you're saying. And when you look at it, there are pros to it because imagine if
exactly,
that
yeah.
person wasn't for you, and you slept with them, and let's say you caught something, you know, um, you you just don't know. Or you know what I mean. So it's always important to wait. And I know you can never know someone completely. In fact, you would even hear marriage people say we're still getting to know each other, but there are some key things I think that you need to know about a person in the dating season that will help you in a year later to decide if this is a person you want to be with, or even 6 months time. You know, um,
Mm,
so yeah, I definitely agree with what you're saying. Um, Also, what I was thinking as well, um, I feel like as well, date another reason why dating doesn't work is because we've become lazy in dating, and I'm even today I had another story, but um I just feel like we have become lazy in dating when men approach not all men, most men though, when they approach women in the on social media or in the DMs, their first answer or the first uh greetings or intro can be very weak. As some of us say,
mm,
game is very weak. It's like, hi, how are you? Can I get your number? It's like, huh? What? Like someone told me that and I was like, people are still doing that? Like, and they're grown too. It's not like they're teenagers. They're in their late 20s going on to 30s. It's very interesting. Um and I do think on the female side, they don't always state what they want in the relationship. Um, and if they do know what they want, they just don't know how to translate that, to communicate that. Why though? Because the way um, this world is set up, it's very rare to even think about marriage sometimes, or to even think about, hey, I want something long term.
mm.
You know,
I agree with
you
that.
hear the phrases, oh, um, I would like the idea of marriage, but I just want to take it slow. But what does that mean? What does that look like when you think about or even ask that question? They don't even know what taking it slow or we'll see how it goes even looks like because they don't really have marriage in mind. And in fact, when you ask them what their plans and goals are, they actually have got a lot of plans and goals, but it's really not marriage. Then you need to start thinking about, okay, so why do you want a companionship? Why do you want someone in your life? Why is it that you're here professing that you want to be with somebody? What is it for you? You know?
I feel like that's so true. And you got to start wondering what's so scary about telling somebody what you want from them. How can you jump to sex so quickly, but you can't jump to the rest of your life so quickly? Where's the
Mm,
anxiousness for that? Like, you just anxious for all the men out there. Y'all anxious to get inside of her because of what? Oh man, I just can't help myself. You're a
mm,
beast. You're an animal. You're not a human. It's nothing wrong
mm.
with you having images. I'm not telling you that. I'm saying that if you value this woman, there should just be a different urge as well. Ah, I want to get to
Different
know this woman.
response.
Where's the
Yeah,
craving for that?
yeah.
I want to talk to this woman. I want to take care of her family. I want to make sure she's okay. Like, where are
Mm,
those urges? If you don't have
Yeah.
those, you evaluate how much you really are attracted to her. If
Mm,
it is, it's okay. It's nothing wrong with that. But then you just need to go ahead and treat her like that. And then going back to
mm,
that thing tweet where the woman was saying, "Why are you planning fake dates?" Then it's if you just want the surface, then I get it. You playing the game, and that's that you're in a
mm,
different sector of the dating pool. That's the one
mm,
where you're eligible, and so to the women, choke and starve those men from attention. They can't
mm,
have you, no matter how good they smell, no matter how good they look, no matter how massive the print is in the gray sweatpants. Don't worry about it because you know what it leads to.
mm,
To all the women out there, stop trying to change these men that have already set their intentions for not being long term with you. Stop. You're not changing them. You're not special. I don't care how curvy you are. I don't care how pretty you are. If Amber Rose can get cheated on, if Beyonce can get cheated on, if Christian marriages can break up and divorce, you're no exception. So give yourself a
mm,
better chance by
mm.
setting intentions, by understanding the value of who you are, who you say you are. I'm a boss. Okay, act like it. Be
Yeah. And I was hearing there was a question posed yesterday, and it was, how do we get these relationships to last? Because, a lot of people don't have experience, and in fact, sometimes they can't even get it from their own parents because the family background wasn't set in a way where not everybody has a father and a mother in the same household together, right? Um,
that's true.
and and I gave an example, because my situation was different. Where yeah, I grew up with a mum and dad, but I still wanted to know a bit more outside. You know what I mean? Um, and I went to a lot of seminars. I went to a lot of conferences about couples and marriages, and I was probably the youngest guy there. I was like 19. Everyone else was in their around their 30s. They were married. I was the single guy taking notes, and that really helped me. And I was speaking to older people in church who were married and had that experience because I just found that at the age of 19, not a lot of my friends at college, even at church, are thinking about marriage as yet or thinking about what skills does it take. I hear a lot of
That's
people talk
real.
about communicate, but how do you communicate? What sort of arguments could come up in a relationship slash leading on to marriage? What are some things that people actually deal with, and how can I find those experiences? You know what I mean?
Right,
And
right.
what does it look like, and how? Because going into dating for the first time, I remember was very, very scary. Actually, a little bit. It's like, okay, you're dealing with another person, and how do you? It's almost like, okay, what does that? How do I know that? How do I know that too much texting is too much texting and all this stuff? And you know, um, am I doing this too fast? Am I not doing that too fast? And again, though, as well, that's why I love when people say communication is so important because it really is. Because um, you need to know what that person likes and dislikes. You know, um,
Mm,
oh, bro, it's just really important. And I just feel like a lot of relationships um could and would work if we just listen to older people above us and we just hear what they're saying. I'm not saying, and don't get me wrong, even older people get it wrong too. But it's always good to hear what other people are talking about and their experiences because
mm,
we don't know everything, you know? Um, and the church is in a good place because you've got people that will be willing for you to go to them and ask those questions. Out there in the world, it's slightly a bit different.
right.
Um, because everyone doesn't really have a foundation in that sense. Because when I mean a foundation, I mean um, Christians would say, "Yeah, we're in this. We believe that we're in this to the end. This is what our faith is in. This is what God has told us to do. Um,
Right.
this is what God wants for marriage." Now, when you're out there in the world, though, they don't have that. They don't have anything to say. This is what our marriage is based on. because when you think about it as well, is marriage isn't even based on love. It's about commitment and
Yes,
for the rough and the
precisely.
and that's what people think. It's based on, oh, but you can base your marriage on love. No, because sometimes I'm not saying uh, people that won't. Well, I'm not saying uh, that sometimes you're not going to love each other, but you can't base it on love slash happiness because there are going to be times where you may not even be happy, or there may not be times. There may be times where you may not want to hug your husband or your wife at that moment because not because of them, but something may have just happened in life, and you just don't feel you at that moment. You know, but you still have to keep it together. But what is it based on? And it can't be something that wavers because human man and human emotion, it always wavers. It always
Talk
it's
about it.
it's conditional, and you need to you know what I'm saying, bro. Like
Like,
even when you look at the
look,
vows.
bro. I'm with you because the word commitment, I pulled it up. It means the state or quality of being dedicated to a cause, activity, an engagement or obligation that restricts freedom of action. And that's what people are scared of with commitment, restriction of freedom, especially men.
And I, yeah.
It's what it is. And that's why you got to take it serious. Why wouldn't you want to know the ins and outs of the person that is restricting freedom from you? That means portions of your brain will die off over time. Why? Because you are living with someone else in there.
Mm,
Like it's not even just the house. They're in your head. They're in your thoughts. They're in your soul constantly, 24/7. You have to be conscious of somebody else. And when people start taking it more serious, it will force the conversation. Stop thinking that marriage is for the weak. It's not. If you are weak, stick to casual and just make it plain. If you are
mm,
looking for the institution known as marriage, then you must be strong. This is especially a call to the men. If you are small minded, weak ass man, you cannot initiate yourself into it. Stop trying to take a woman's soul sexually and then leave her by the wayside. She's not just a
mm,
notch, your belt. That's
mm,
somebody's soul. That's the direction of their life that you're influencing. She's talking about you in Starbucks conversations. She's telling her mom
mm,
about how you opening the door for her and sending good night text and doing all the right things. If that's not you in the long term, you need to stop. That's so
mm,
irresponsible. You can't claim God and be irresponsible like that. You're just an embarrassment to the faith. That's not a walk, man. That's terrible. You're being trifling. Don't do that. Make your intentions known. Be a strong man at the very least in that regard. Stand on whatever you're trying to stand on. If you just a casual dater, live and die by that till you're ready to be serious. Because the quality of woman you'll find with casualness, it'll be very low end. You
mm-hmm.
won't, she not, because I promise she gonna do what you do. And most of y'all can't handle that anyways. That's the facts. All right, well, I think we should see other people. All right, cool. Next thing you know, she's bagging other casual men, but they're rich and they can do things. They're bigger than you, whether it be literally or mentally or whatever, smarter than you, but they just casual and they floating around
Mm,
her. That's intimidating. You think you want to run her, especially with a high quality woman who's just not interested in dating. She got her own money, she got her own car, own house. She casually dating, casually having sex and all that. And but her dimensions and her body is crazy. Her face is beautiful, and you don't want to wife it. Okay, cool. You just want to have
mm.
sex with it. All right, cool, 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 no problem. But when she start interacting with you like that and start introducing you not as your name, oh, that's my little boy toy. That's my little hoe right there. His name, what's his name? I forgot it. See if you still like that. See if you still okay with that. Most people
Mm.
will not be okay with that. It'll wake
Yeah.
you up. It'll wake you up. You don't want to be no pretty woman's hoe. I hope not. That's weak.
Yeah.
in my opinion, because I get it. There's different goals out there for different men. I just again going back to that commitment, an engagement or
Yeah, I mean,
obligation, freedom,
I
morality.
hear what I hear what you're saying because you're really talking to the men that want to be men in the sense of okay, I want to settle down and get married. There are ways to carry yourself, um,
Exactly.
and you don't have to go so low to the point where I'm going to have sex with her and hopefully the sex will kind of turn her around. And you've got some women
Hmm.
that are thinking the same thing. I can transform a guy by sleeping with him, and that's not how it
Mm.
works.
Woo, bruh said something. I can transform a guy by sleeping with him. Nope.
Yeah, you
Nope.
you really can't. And I've heard people say, you know how powerful this is and all that stuff, and it's like, no, you can't. I believe we have lost a lot of skills that our grandparents used to have in relationships, and we've reduced it to sex and just say sex will do it all as long as you've got a good, healthy, intimate life, and that's not the case. That's not the
And I
case.
think,
I mean, you can have money problems, and I assure you that the sex, the love making won't make anything better financially.
yeah, you in a shack somewhere and it's raining and you feel the droplets. Yeah.
Mhm.
You in a shelter and there's no privacy, so you can't have sex. Like, come on,
Yeah,
man. Like, you talking about that real. Y'all need a 5-year plan with the if you're
yeah,
trying to do something. But that's the other thing. It changes the conversation. Men, if
mm,
you do it long term, you need to be stable financially, or at least have the route, the necessary route to get there. And all you need is just a little assistance from your
mm.
helpmate. Be stop out here, stop trying to get married, but you broke. Don't do that. Get yourself together first.
Yeah. Even going to the root. I mean, even you hardly even hear about people saving anymore. It's all about borrowing money from the bank. You know, people
Exactly.
struggle. People even struggle how to save. How do you save? But it's just as simple as if you really have the mindset and the drive, you'll put a certain amount every month. I mean, you've even got systems now that you can put money in, and it will purposely not let you withdraw anything out until a certain
Yeah.
period,
Yeah.
month, or whatever year. That they have that because people know that people find it hard to save and people keep withdrawing, but still, people even find it hard to even think about doing that. Like, you
Mm.
crazy? I can't take out my money for a year, 2 years. No, but you
What
need
if
to
something
look at the
happens?
end goal. Yeah, well, yeah, exactly
Exactly.
right. What if something happens? And but then there's something called, well, let me have a pot for spending. People don't think about these little stuff that you can do on the side. Okay, I want to save, but I want stuff for myself too. It's doable.
Mm.
You can do that. It just takes time and planning, but you can't. You have to be realistic about it, though. I might want a PlayStation 5 tomorrow, but that's just because I got the money now doesn't mean I should rinse my bank account now. What if I save? And if
That's
I do
true.
save, and right, and if I do save in a couple of months' time when they've got the little sales stuff going on, who knows? The PS5 may be at a cheaper rate, which means that the money that I save for the PS5, it ain't all gonna go on it anyway.
But you know what? Adding to what you just said, that's the analogy for relationships. My God, it's that people don't want to save themselves for the actual deposit in order to find love and in order to
Wow.
find long term. Wow. That's what it is. That's exactly what it is. It's exactly how you
Right.
described it in the realm of dating. Everybody wants to spend a little bit. They do good for a little bit, but then they're ready to have sex, and it's too late. They cash out, and and now they accidentally got the woman pregnant, and they want to get an abortion. She want to keep it. Now you have different problems, all kind of scenarios. But if you would just
Mm,
save yourself, if you would just wait a second, if you would just wait on God or whatever you believe in, you would find out that you can have the PlayStation 5 within time. You can have the
mm,
house within a certain time. You can have the car within a certain time. You just gotta save. You can find love in a certain time. You can find relationship and companionship in a certain time. You can find commitment and duty at a certain time. A lot of us don't even be ready for the things that we want. You got a PlayStation 5, but nowhere to play it. What sense that make?
you forgot you
You
need a
got a car.
TV, right?
Yeah, you need a TV, right? What you? I got the 5. Now I just gotta get the TV. All right, smart man. Like, what did you do that for? Like you got a car, but you ain't got nowhere to park it.
Wow. Gee.
Those are all analogies for relationships. You found love, but you ain't got nowhere to deposit it.
Yeah.
You
So
found your
true.
woman, but you can't take her to the crib. You at your mama's
Wow.
house. You gotta wait. Get your tools first so you can provide. Because now this is straight to the men. Get your tools first so you can provide the environment for her to blossom. She's your flower. You are her soil. If you want to be good soil, you need the tools so her anxiety can stop inhibiting her growth. She has every right to be scared because she know how she feel about your silly ass. And
Mm,
it's a lot. A woman giving up her womb and her prime years is a lot. And when men start understanding how much that means, they'll start moving different.
yeah. Yeah, you're right. It is a lot because they're thinking I have to put my life in your hands in a sense. You're going to be my main
Yeah,
drive.
yeah.
While you require me to support you. And I've seen situations where even women think, will my man even listen to me if I do see something? Because I'm meant to be that support too, which they are meant to
Mm,
be. And just
mm,
because the man is the head, it doesn't mean that he shouldn't listen to his wife too. I always say the man is the head, but the woman is the neck. They can't
yes.
move without each other properly. They can't function properly. Um, and another reason why I think dating doesn't necessarily all the time work for marriage is because of fear. And we kind of touched on it, the fear of
Yeah.
letting somebody in. Again, we touched about the PS5 situation. They're not looking for the basics, taking your time in that relationship. Like you said, you're still
Mm,
living at home. So, you're living at home but don't have the savings for it. Then take the dating slowly if marriage is the goal, because in the meantime, you guys can still save. It doesn't mean you
exactly.
have to go to five-star restaurants. Go somewhere where go like I don't know, go to all you can eat restaurant and just take it easy. You know,
Yeah. You got to be
and
within the
that way,
budget. Yes.
yeah, and there's nothing wrong with having a budget. And learn how to treat each other properly. Learn what you like and dislike, and even in the meantime, hopefully it's serious. And when you get to like 6 months in, even though you're living at home, there'll be nothing wrong with taking her home and inviting her to see your parents because you've already established a lot at that point. You know where each other's
Yeah.
going. So to go to his house or for you to go to her house, it isn't a bad thing because you know you guys ain't gonna be there for long. You
Exactly.
know?
There's nothing wrong with it. And everybody who is around you is aware of y'all intentions. So they don't have to be like, well, what happened to old girl or what happened to what's his name?
Mhm.
Nobody's
But
doing
then you
that
get
because y'all
accountability.
have already exactly. Y'all have already made y'all case. I love that. And it's like people are for yeah, like you said earlier, people are forgetting the basics and they're covering it with sex and they're losing it. And then there's a lot of people that ain't even good at sex trying to cover it with sex. You're not even good at it. You thinking that that's gonna hold it down. That's not doing nothing. That's to women and men. Women, y'all having a hard time with sexual things or feeling like y'all supposed to care or nurture for the man sexually. Y'all just feel like y'all supposed to lay on y'all back and that's it. To the men, you feel like you're supposed to take her to Pound Town every night and she's sore, achy, and hurting. Like y'all not even doing it right because y'all not even talking about the right stuff.
Right.
For
And it
y'all jump
shows
the
and it
gun. And it
right
shows. Yes, exactly.
yeah
Exactly, my
and
brother.
it
It shows.
and it shows things are not even that simple, that easy. Even that example that you gave, even that needs time and patience to nurture yourselves. Remember, it's not just one person. You're combining two people together, yourself
Yes.
and her,
Yes.
for one. Uh, I'll call it a performance with each other, and you're
Yes.
wanting to be like yin and yang without even having talks. No, not without even knowing each other. So you can't blame each other when something doesn't work.
Exactly. That's too much facts,
Wow.
I think. And I think the people just think people they're rushing things that they're not even conscious of, that they don't have no knowledge of. People ain't read no marriage books, they ain't been to no therapy for their own selves, and they're running
Therapy is
into
a
it.
good thing. Yeah.
And it's like you don't even know self and you trying to incorporate somebody else with self. That's weird. You
Mm.
like you're not even deeply intimate with self, and you trying to be deeply intimate with somebody else. That's
Mm.
weird. You need to learn your own boundaries. So then when it's time to communicate them, it's not no struggle. Hey, I
Yeah,
don't really do that's not me. Oh, well, why? Uh, 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 no. You need to have a reason because people that are interested in you are only going to ask questions about you,
questions.
the deep
Yeah,
ones.
that's what happens. Yeah,
Yeah, like y'all having conversations about sports, but then all of a sudden it comes down to spiritual background and everybody's getting taboo and stuff. No, y'all got to get in there and see if y'all can agree. See if it's really what it is, or if it was just the sexual tension that y'all might have had, or the physical attraction, or
yeah.
the person might be really intriguing up to a point. It's okay to
Mm.
be like, oh, you're not for me. Because isn't that the point of a date? Isn't that the
It
point
is.
of,
Yeah,
excuse me, isn't that the
it's
point of an
yeah.
interview?
It's right. I mean, yeah, you're right because it's to determine if that person's wrong or right for you. I mean,
Yeah.
when I was dating my wife at the time, I asked her, "How has your past relationships been, and why did they end?" And she asked, and I made sure she asked me the same questions because it's not about necessarily for me what you've been through or what you may be going through now. It's how do you perceive that now, and if you are going through something now, how can I help you now or going
Mm,
forward? And a lot of people don't look at that, you know. um Men often are willing to, when they hear stuff like that, they're willing to, okay, I can work with you, I can, I can, be that good guy for you. And sometimes on the reverse, it's when the woman hears what a man's been through, it's kind of, oh my gosh, I can't manage that. And it's a different, uh, when you're having those communications, you kind of have to reassure her as well that, you know what, I can manage what I've been through, or I can manage what I'm going through now, but I will need a bit of support. And again, it's about the communication, because if two people can't communicate, and in that reasoning, he flips out or he raises his voice or whatever, she can feel attacked or uneased. And again,
mm,
communication is so important, bro. And yeah, we're talking about the same thing, but everything that we've just said is very, very important for a relationship, especially if you want it to go somewhere. Um, a lot of reasons why also, um, like I said, it's fear, but also sometimes um, dating, sometimes we date to be looked after, not dating in the mindset of what can I do for that other
oh my
person,
God. Ooh, you are right, bro. You are so right.
you know? Um,
Whoa.
and it's sad to say, but it's the truth. I mean, people are looking for the biggest bag, i.e., money. People don't know what that means. Money, paycheck, and
Yeah.
then and what they can get from a man, or even sometimes what a man can get from a woman. It happens. Um, and people are not looking for what they can actually do for each other, because really deep down, probably they know that they can't really do anything because they haven't been taught anything.
True. They've just been taught how to survive. Nobody's been taught how to love.
Survive,
Nobody's been taught
yeah.
how to nurture.
And we've been taught how to
Everybody's
survive by
yeah.
social media, TV programs. Even they put little things in films now to kind of give you a certain message. Um,
Mm, mm.
Another thing, dating does not seem it doesn't seem as a long-term goal. Again, the media, even music videos now, it's hard to. I need to ask my wife because she listens to a lot of old school love songs. You don't hear of songs of commitment these days. Um,
Yeah, you
and
don't.
also
And you got to remember, those are frequencies that are going inside the subconscious. So it's
yeah,
layering that temporary fix. I don't want to be alone. I don't know how to be alone with me and my thoughts. It's terrible,
right,
man.
right. Yeah. The level of appreciation is not the same. Like I said, based on money again,
Wow. Yeah.
what can you do for me? So, wow.
It's layered, man, and it's not one of those things that's gonna change overnight. We understand that. I would just like the
Yeah.
honesty to be the base. It's like for everybody that's dating, what are you really dating for? If somebody could really
Mm,
just open themselves up and be like, I'm dating because I'm scared of being alone. I'm dating because I need to be taken care of. I don't really know how to take care of myself. I don't cook my own meals. I don't
mm,
I usually eat out. I don't do that. And I need a different way of life. If you come in like that, somebody could let you know. They could, who knows, they could point you in the right direction. Yo, I'm not for you, but I got this one homie. Or yo,
mm,
I know a great therapist. Or hey, here's a routine. I still don't think I can be the person for you, but this is the routine that I do. You might find a good friend out of being
mm,
open, out of being honest. Like, but a lot of people aren't being honest for the sake of having sex, for the sake
mm,
of being a love story, or a notch under somebody's belt. And it's superficial and it's sickening. Y'all out here
mm,
damaging people's souls, messing up directions of lives, impregnating people on accident, and
mm,
starting their way sooner than what they anticipated. That woman or
mm.
that man might have had uh, dreams and goals and aspirations, but you came
Definitely.
crashed in, whatever, and it's all over now, and you can't take responsibility, or y'all are scarring yourselves, or she's got a graveyard for a womb now because that's her fifth abortion. Like, come on, man, just slow down, just slow down.
Yeah, yeah,
There's so much at stake, and y'all keep on thinking it don't matter, and it do.
yeah.
These the
I used to find it
Right.
hard when people used to say to me, "You're not just living for yourself; you're living for me too." You know, and I'm like, "Huh?" Like,
Yeah, yeah.
but even friends and family said that this isn't anything about being in a relationship now, like
Romance.
in that
Yeah,
in
yeah.
that sense. But it's like we're living for each other, and it's like so you have to act accordingly. You need to act straight because what you do could ruin me in the sense of, oh, did you hear Nathan done this? Or and you could be like, no, I didn't hear that. Accountability is good as well, by the way.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
because
yeah.
it could be, oh yeah, I heard this, but I know Nathan quite well, and this he wouldn't have done X, Y, and Z. But it's so important because, and I've heard a particular person say life is about people and friendships, and
Yeah.
sometimes you've heard that people can get in certain positions in life because of the people that they know and the people that can vouch for that person. You
Facts.
know,
Oh my God. Well said.
it's so important. Um, and you have to live your life accordingly, not just for yourself, but others, even for people you don't know. And it seems a lot to, it seemed a lot for me at the time to kind of take in because it's like, hang on, so now I can't have my own life. It kind of seemed like I have to live for others. Why? But it's really true because even though Classy was my bro, right? I could be messing around as a guy, with women and whatever. But what I'm
Right.
really doing is I am, how can I explain it? I am I'm drinking, put it this way, I'm drinking bottles, and when I'm finished with them, I'm just throwing them. I'm not even recycling it. I'm just throwing it away on the street,
Yeah. I hear you.
right?
I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you.
And then when another guy comes across something, he trips up. Bro, I slipped up of this over this bottle. What was the bottle's name? Oh,
Mm,
it was. I don't know. I thought it was a bottle, but it was a Lynx can. You tripped over that? Oh, I remember dealing with that. Damn,
mm.
that's where I left it. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, bro, I
Yeah,
tripped
I
over
get
that.
that.
What
I
you
get
left?
that, bro.
And it's like you don't know the very thing that you're messing with, it could come back to bite you in the bum too and hurt somebody else.
Yeah, man. Like, oh, we ain't even tapped into. We don't even have enough time to tap into like
I know.
STDs, STIs, and what else can happen. You talking about damaging people? Yeah, like
Yeah,
there's certain
and I'm even talking about emotions as well. Like, you know,
exactly. Yes, man. Like, whoa, it gets so volatile in there. People are linking up with people and sneaky linking with people with all these interesting intentions and ruining foundations for future endeavors. Now, this said individual is scarred. They don't trust nobody no more. Now, the
right,
option for it's 10 years behind because it's gonna take 10 years to heal whatever trauma said individual caused. Nobody looks at it like that. People just like whatever. I'm just doing it. I'm just doing me, and you can never understand it. All right, well, you're volatile, man. You gotta. I always tell the hoes stay with the hoes. The whores should be with the whores. and everybody else should try to interact with everybody else because at least the whores know how to interact with other whores. That's
Okay,
it. Like,
I hear what you're saying.
it,
Mm,
if you stay in your lane, if you just be honest with yourself, if you are a man, you are a hoe, stay that way. It's perfectly fine because nobody's ridiculing you. If you are a woman and you are a hoe, admit it. Stay that way. Nobody's ridiculing you. I promise you will be utilized the way you will be utilized. When you understand eventually that that's not intended for the optimum human experience, you will stop. Or you will be like, this is my optimum human experience. I'm fine. I'm okay with being used, treated, and abused. I want to have I want to have everybody's demons inside of my head. I want to have I want to lay down with people that I can't remember. I want to do all of that. Okay. Say it out loud. Keep on saying it out loud at the age of 40. See if it still sounds the same. See if it still feels the same. Like
mm,
it don't. You can't convince me that it do. You can't.
mm.
Like
See.
it is sad, man. And I really be disappointed with the guys that don't take initiative. Just tell her what you want.
Yeah, stop messing around and using it. And I want to probably have to be definitely a different conversation, but it's. I need to see guys like yourself and myself like saying, "Look, guys, stop messing around, man," because we're the
Yeah,
same ones. Like I said about the bottle analogy, we're hurting other people. Men are tripping
yeah,
up over what you left, which you could have
yeah,
treated better. I mean, you came across a diamond, and now you've made it a stone for somebody else.
yeah. Just a regular
and
piece of
and
coal.
and and, and, and
Ugh,
then the typical good guy would be like, you know what, I'm gonna try and help this stone out to become back into the diamond which they were, but you can't
yeah,
now because they're even cutting you up. And now you might be a brother that's cut up too. And then what you
yeah.
have is a pattern, and you have kids that are watching that, and all of a sudden
Mm,
you're all cut up and kind of damaged together because why of this one person that had something good but didn't know how to treat it.
mm, 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 mm. Come on, man. Say that, bro.
It's true. Yeah,
It's true.
and it amazed me because I grew up watching it in my teens and I saw it, and guys came across to me in college and, oh, Nathan, why don't you do this and do that? And I goes, no, bro, I'm not like that. I'm just friends, and really, I'm learning a couple of stuff too at the same time. I
Mm.
learned I learned a lot from hanging around females. You know,
Them are
it's to
facts.
put, and my wife, when I was dating my wife said it scares me because you've been consistent for a year. That's not normal for me. And I goes, I understand that, you know,
That,
and and
you know,
it's interesting.
yeah.
Go on.
Go ahead. Go, no, 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 go, go,
No,
go. You was talking.
yeah, it was just the thought of being consistent scared of because consistency in a lot of women's eyes is rare from a man to get. And then if when they do get it, it's almost like, but what is he wanting or waiting to get? Because they're always, as far as women know, there's the when men are consistent, there's a reason for it, and there is a reason for it, whether good or bad. There's still a reason for it. But in
Yes.
a lot of women's eyes, it's there's a bad reason for it though, because he's gonna when he once he gets it, he's gonna leave me.
Mm. And you know what though? That goes back to the negotiation. If you say if a woman says I want consistency and a man says, okay, well in exchange for consistency I want this, then that's all you got to do is meet the term.
Mm.
That's and it's as
And,
simple as that. A lot of people,
and so,
to me, a lot of women specifically, they want the consistency to be based out of love, and that's just not always the case because sometimes within the relationship there are handfuls. This is a lot, and if you see your man tarrying with you to be that guy for you, even though it's a lot, you need to reward him the way he sees fit, not the way you see fit. I want
yeah.
this. Well, I want to give you this. That's not that'll debuff him. That'll make him not want to be consistent in that area
Mm,
because you're not giving him what he wants. He's giving
mm,
you exactly what you want in that area. Consistency, even though
mm,
it might be hard, even though whatever. Women think
yeah.
that they're not difficult. Women think that they are not these handfuls. and that's just incorrect. And you gotta understand that there's a trade-off. Like you said, there's probably is a reason that he's being consistent. Just hear him out, and then you can hear, depending on his reason, you can vet if that's the kind of
Mm,
reasoning you want for your consistency. Like, oh, you
mm,
said you want that for my, you want that reward for being consistent. I don't know if I can do that. This might not be what I thought it was. That can change the whole relationship right there. Oh, well, maybe okay, maybe that was too much, babe. What you thinking? Now you can see that that man loves you. He's willing to
mm,
compromise. Or yo, I love you, but I'm not feeling that. I really want that. If you can't do that for me, then I guess
right.
it's not you.
And
And
not a lot of
that's okay.
people talk about that. Yeah, not a lot of people see not a lot of people see compromise as a as something that they're looking for in a relationship. It's love and intimacy. As long as I got that, everything else should follow without really getting into a discussion. Because even the word love for people means so much different things.
Yeah,
Love
that's a
actually
culture
could mean
thing. It's proximity.
yeah. Yeah, love for one person could be respect, while love for another person means buy me everything.
Ooh,
You know,
ooh,
and
ooh.
and
Yeah.
and and, and it's not the case. Everyone, and that's where you have to sit down and define what is love for you. What does a relationship look like for you? See, I could buy you flowers, but the flowers to you might mean, what did you do? When really, I remember when you said that you liked flowers. So why
Wow.
is it now that you think something's wrong because I got you flowers? Or it could be the simple, you know what I mean? Or it could be the other way, you know?
Yeah.
It's you
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
she could
yeah.
love the
I get
flowers, which
that.
is fine. But I remember shipping flowers to my worst workplace, and she told me, this is when we were dating. She said that a lot of women said, "What has he done?" And I didn't do anything, you know.
Mm.
And another part of the group said, "Oh, that's really sweet. We're going to send you flowers." But it's interesting because even flowers these days are taken, which is something so innocent. Flowers ain't done nothing to nobody, but it's taken as he's done something wrong to give you flowers. You know what I mean? And maybe as men we should break that too, because
You know, and
flowers
that's
doesn't
I
have
get
to
that.
be.
I get that. A lot of women aren't used to just because gifts. It has to be because like the Yeah, the just because gifts to me are usually like if you look at the movies, just because gifts are only from the dream guy. It's not from the your average guy. The average guy, they're usually in repentance. If they, they're in the
Mm,
doghouse. And
mm,
I feel like the lack of care. There should always be just because gifts throughout the week. It don't have to be monetary. It don't have to be flowers. It could be sit down, let me rub your feet. That don't cost nothing except time.
yeah,
And a lot of men, they're not used to that. They didn't see their dads do it, or maybe because the dad wasn't in the house, or whatever. They wasn't watching the right content, or they was watching all the rap videos and or whatever else, or the rock videos. I could say rock videos because rock and roll is very, very, very supportive of debauchery. So it's not just rap. I don't even want to bring it like that. It's just certain music
yeah.
in
I
general.
get you, Mika. Yeah,
Yeah,
and it's
there's certain.
even going to again for me, it even goes back to communication because even in the dating scene, especially when people start to talk about jobs and careers, um,
Mhm.
even this is an important question as well that I wanted to know, and I wanted other people to know is always ask, what do you want to do or be in 5 years later? 5 years later, in terms of
Yeah,
job wise, and how much
yeah.
time are you going to be committed to that job? Because um, I remember speaking to we were in a WhatsApp group chat, a Christian group chat, and someone said that they want a preacher as a husband, but they were only thinking about the money. They assume
Mhm.
that every preacher slash pastor is going to have money. Okay, fine. But most preachers as well, especially high um, preachers that are well known, they travel a lot. So you got to think about,
True.
okay, are you going to be around anyway if we were to get married? Now,
Mm,
depending what sort of job the wife has, again, the man has to ask, okay, me being married, I have to know that I'll at least see her at least Monday to Friday. You know what I mean? Like she comes home, you know, um, because all of these sort of stuff count too. Maybe we need a separate talk about what sort of questions, what sort of questions you should really ask when you're dating, because certain things that people don't know, it can be slightly damaging.
mm.
Um, later on because people just didn't know certain things or actually bothered to ask because they were focused on the now rather than the future also. And I do believe when
Mm.
you're dating, you have to think about now, but you also have to think about the future too,
I agree.
you know? And
I agree.
people tend to say when you're married for the first year, it's quite difficult, which um it can be very challenging, I would say. But the reason why the dating is not challenging, the dating season, is because you're too busy focusing on impressing and making sure you both have a good time. You don't have finances to think about that are linked to each other. There's a lot of things, you know what I mean? I don't have to contact her and say, oh, I want to buy a PS5. What do you think? Because we're not living in the same house. And again, money is not attached to both of us in that way. What you do
Right.
financially won't affect me, not now anyway. So you do have that time to really connect with each other and just impress one another. Um, yeah, go to a nice hotel or, you know what I mean, or go to a nice restaurant or go on holiday. You get time to do that. And then when it comes to being married for the first year, for some it may be a shock because you can't just go overseas all the time.
Mm,
Now, now this is where it comes to the real planning of your future, not just the now. You can't just think about, I'm gonna do this now, because it really takes planning and time, and patience, you know, patience,
I
because
agree.
patience with money. Because for me, it was very hard to save at first, and my dad had a chat with me about savings, and I really thank you for telling me about savings. Because life again, my mind was just focused on what I can see and what I want now rather than how the world actually works and how much money
Mm,
you're going to actually need when you want something. You want to get married? Okay, fine. Where are you going to put her? And I remember my dad saying that to me. Where are you going to put her? If you're thinking about a wife now, which
exactly.
is fine, but where are you going to put her? Where are you going to get the money from? And my dad sat down and spoke to me about what type of job a decent job is and how much you earn a year to okay, you've got that job, but still though, you may still struggle with certain things. So learn how to save.
Mm. And
Which
that's
is
imperative.
yeah.
It's so imperative
Hmm.
because I think a lot of I think a lot of men they shy away from that part because they're scared of failing in front of the woman that they are attracted to and being ridiculed for it. And it's like comes with the territory, bro. Like again, it's not for the weary. Going and saying I'm like your dad saying, quote, where you gonna put her? That's real talk. It's not one of you don't have the option to be like, I'll figure it out, it's just gonna come to me. Nah, you need to have something going because again, you're talking
Yeah.
about their life. You're taking her away from her support and you're saying, I'm strong enough to be my support and yours. That's not for no weak man.
Mm.
Not. When you go and get a crib and maintain that crib, put furniture in it, put food in it every month, every week for years and years and years, man. And then to the
Yeah.
women saying they're worth that, you better actually be worth that. Don't be
Mm.
no thorny crown to your king. He's a provider, and you want to be thorns to his head. You want to be an annoyance, an agitation. Don't be that way. You're not ready for marriage. If you can't submit to somebody that actually respects you and wants to feed you for the rest of your life, you're not ready for it. And this is only for the eligible. We're not talking about the woman beaters. We're not talking about the people that is cursing you out every night and calling you everything but a child of God. We're not talking about none of the men. If you're still attracting those men, if you're still attracted to those men, you need to get healed. That's trauma.
Mm,
We talking about people that are like my man said. The man had a conversation with his dad. His dad put him on game. What'd he do? Shape up. Now he's married. And where is she at? In his house, being provided for.
mm,
Like it's that. It's just that it's that simple.
yeah,
Don't play that game where you acting like you ready, but you really not. Take all the time you need because when you take on somebody else's burden as life, like burden of proof, burden of life, that thing is real, man. And a
yeah,
lot of things can go wrong for you. You can waste a
yeah.
lot of time being married to the wrong person.
Hmm. And I took the advantage as well. I mean, I took the advantage as well, obviously, to save from home. And even my dad said again, as you're at home at the moment, just save. And I get why he said that because when you're living on your own, paying bills, it's very hard for you to save a huge amount. Oh, I'm echoing for some reason. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you. Okay, yeah.
Oh, okay. I was echoing for some reason. Yeah, it can be hard for you to save a huge amount, especially if you're saving for the future for a lady. It can be very difficult. Um,
Mm,
and especially if you need her as a second income for you to help in the house too, that can be hard as well for both of you to put something together and save for
yeah,
something, you know?
yeah.
So I found that so important. I felt blessed that you see, there was a stage in my life where my dad said, look, I'm moving, basically. And I thought, okay, cool. I want to stay in the same city though. So I had to then it was my first time renting. And man, I'm not gonna lie, I could cook, I could do everything else, right? But I just struggled with see, when I cook a lot as a guy, right? I cook a lot, right? But if I'm
Yeah.
not careful, I can cook the whole house, bro. But I would have a lot of food left over, but I'll cook the whole house. Right? But
Okay.
when she came, she knows how to cook a good meal. She knows how to make nothing into something. And that's what I love about women. And my
I
mum was
love
the
that.
same.
Okay, excellent,
You
excellent.
make women can make food out of they can make a little something and then make it big. And my wife was like, "Yeah, let's go shopping and let's." Not that I didn't know how to shop, but in terms of, um, I hate to use the word, but people are gonna think, "Oh, but you're a man, you're meant to provide." But in that sense, she provided in the sense of this is how you can do it. You know what I mean? Because for me, I like to cook, but I like to cook big stuff. I can't cook
Mm,
small things and make it last. Is that what I mean?
I
Where
get
she
that. I
could
get
do
that.
that because she had more, because she went to university as well. She had more years, and I was
But you
living
know
on my
what,
own.
bro? That's the point.
Mm,
That's the point of marriage. And that's why it's okay for your woman to provide for you a different perspective on life that benefits your end goal.
right.
That is exactly what God, everything, the universe, whatever, has intended. Like, you don't want to have somebody who's not competent in how to make you better.
Yeah. By the way, sorry, we got two voice notes. Let me play them quick.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Please,
Meg
please, please.
level 11. Let me play it quick.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Definitely, definitely.
This idea of male men being providers is antiquated. Um, I'm pretty sure most households in the US are dual income households, and there are plenty of women out there who are supporting their families.
Yeah,
Okay,
I would agree. Yeah.
okay,
Uh,
okay.
Men can cook just as well as women. In fact, I believe that there are more male chefs in the United States, at least, than there are women chefs. This is more to do with culture. It's that our culture promotes women cooking in homes as opposed to men. And as I said, I think these ideas are antiquated and we should move past them.
It's like yes and no. To the first voice note, males being providers will never be antiquated, in my opinion, because now that's not to say because like providers and sole providers are very different. If you're saying the idea of a male being the sole provider is antiquated, I agree. Like it's only getting harder. So that's not what we're saying. It's more like who has the last say, who has the final say, and that's where men show up. I'm not looking to navigate certain decisions with my wife. That'll never be antiquated for me. I want the final say, and I know that requires a certain level of dominance, unless the negotiations are there. You know what I'm saying? There's always that, but that second voice note definitely on point. I feel like gender roles they can they can they can be ambiguous depending on the situation, depending on the negotiations and that. There's not going to be a time where um,
Mm.
compromise won't be in a marriage. That's just what it is. Like you should always be trying to listen or hear out your mate. That's weird if you're just like, nah, I don't really care what you trying to do. Like, cause then to my man's, he found out that while he is amazing at cooking, his wife is quite the chef as well and can be more efficient. You know what I'm saying? Do you want do you want a footballer who has an efficiency rate of, it's all right, or do you want the person that when they get to the goal, usually they're knocking it out? Oh wait, man,
Mm.
he sent. Okay, he sent more. Hey, yo, we're talking. Okay, nerd level 11. Go ahead and play it, bro.
Either well, okay. Let me play his two messages.
Whoa, the man has the final say. That is completely inappropriate. I completely disagree. I think that that is a bad idea. I mean, are you suggesting that when you start dating, that the woman is deciding whether or not she's going to give up her say in parenting or in raising, the family to the man when she decides to get married?
Did Aaron? Did I say the man has to have the last say? Or because I
No, that
don't
was
remember
me. That was
saying
me.
that.
That was me.
Oh, okay.
He's saying that towards me. I was saying I would like to have the final say. To answer that, no, because and as I said, like compromise and figuring out where who's good at what, that's important. Like that
Mm,
requires conversation. So no, that's too extreme. And earlier in the conversation, we had already touched on those things. But I get it. You're in a little later into it. So
mhm,
to clarify
mm.
that, no, um, I
All right. Let
wouldn't
me tell
want
you.
to. Oh yeah, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah, go on. You finish up what you're saying, bro. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't want to, especially with parenting. I wouldn't want to have the final say because it's two of us that made that little one. So there's going to be two pieces of personality traits that you might recognize my wife that I don't recognize, and I might need to be educated on it, or different sides of the family, all kind of things like that. Generational curses, generational blessings. You would wanna sit down and have that. But those are all conversations that would take place in dating. Like if it's a long term thing, if it's a serious thing. When I say final say, it's more like I believe in the position of power. Like when we're talking about survival, we're talking about food or budgeting, hunting, or just what I'm good at and she's not. Anything like that. That's that final say. Because I believe that a lot of women are indecisive. I believe that they are decisive in other areas, but when it comes down to how the world works, and we spoke about that a little bit, Nathan, it's it
Mm,
it can
we
be
did.
it can be ambiguous, it can be vague. They don't really know, and that's where you lead as a man. You should be leading her to productivity, and some that doesn't require too much conversation. It should just be, yo, you said you wanted to be a doctor. You said you wanted to be this. You said you wanted to be that. These are the requirements. And then you provide a way for her to get there. You know what I'm
Oh, you
saying?
work
Like you're
together,
not,
yeah, yeah. You
yeah,
work
y'all,
together to get that outcome. Yeah, I don't want it. I
yeah,
don't want him to feel like it's the man saying this is how it's gonna go. You better,
mhm.
you know what I mean. That's not.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
but
We're not dictators here. We're
there is
not,
a
this isn't a dictatorship. Yeah.
yeah. But what it is about though is the man being the man, and the woman being the woman. But it doesn't mean that one has power over the other. what it does mean is though is that you both have to work together and really hear each other out and come to a some sort of conclusion or agreement. Say, okay, look, I know this is what you said and this is what I'm saying, but can we do it this way? And we can get this result out of this, or can we do
Right.
this later? And you talk and you figure it out. Um,
I feel like strength. It's strength. It's a strength thing. Like it's it. Whoever's strong and whatever y'all are talking about, that's the leader. If your wife is bomb at being efficient at cooking and making it taste good, follow her lead. There's no point in you trying to have so much to say. If you are good at the budgeting, there's nothing for her to say except follow instructions because she's not good at it. You are the student at that point. Why are you trying to say so much when you do not know? And I feel like a lot of people aren't honest with their strengths and weaknesses, which is other conversations that show up in the dating scene. This is good. Whoever nerd level 11 is, I'm really glad you showed up.
yeah, he's got two more
He's
voice notes. I'll play his next one.
yeah.
Women are people with autonomy, and legally speaking, according to our Constitution, they have the same rights that men do. There is nothing, you're just trying to say that you wish men could be in charge of women.
Am I saying
Interesting.
that?
Nah,
I,
I don't think
I, I, I don't think we're saying that. No, no, no.
nah, but I'm okay. Play the next one.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I'll play the next one.
Women are indecisive. I mean, are they also hyper emotional? What are you talking about? Those are pretty sexist views that you're portraying. I don't know if you know this, but in our society, at least in the United States, women have autonomy and they have rights. If they want to divorce their husband, they can. The man cannot tell a woman what to do. That's just not how it works. And I think that's the way that it should be.
Oh,
No,
well, hold
I
on,
do.
bro.
Hang on, because I see where this is going. It ain't gonna go there.
Okay, okay.
He's okay. He's saying that he feels that most women can be indecisive. Even men can be too. I know Aaron quite well. He's not trying to be sexist or anything like that. But let's keep it calm. It's not going to turn into an argument. It's not going to be any of that. So if
Okay.
you are confused on anything, ask us, is this what you're saying? Instead of just stating you're being this. All right. So I just want to put that out there. But you can go ahead, Aaron.
To my man's, it's like okay, because you keep saying in the United States. I live in the United States, bro. Like I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina, by the way. Um, I have a girlfriend. We are dating long term. Just one of the things she told me was, Aaron, take charge. I am indecisive, and I come from a line of indecisive women. I'm gonna be blabbering about. Just step in, point me in the right direction. There's a lot of women that have said that to me in my dating back when I was dating and entering into relationships, having relations, etc. And that's just the women that I've experienced. The women you're experiencing, if that's what you're saying that that's what's necessary, cool. But I come from a different area. Like I don't know what else to tell you. It's what's required of a man like me. And what's required of a man like you, I don't get in the way of that. That's that I respect where you're at and what you're trying to do. But if since my woman made it very plain to me, then I know my role in her life.
Mhm.
Take charge, point her in the right direction. It can't be sexist when it's a requirement in order to maintain our world for me and
Yeah,
her. So,
I agree with you. I mean,
you
I
know,
mean, it could. Let's flip it. It could be something that you ask her to do, bro. Doesn't mean that you're less of a man or more of a man. No, it just means
precisely.
you're
But that's
supporting each other.
also because I was going right into that. I've also made requests to her. Like, I told her I don't know everything, so I don't want to always be leading you. You need to take charge. If you're confident in something, speak up. Show me how to do it, and say it with your chest, so I can know that I can lean on you. So it goes both ways, bro. It's just she respects me enough to give me the final say over large events of her life, and I accept responsibility. It's not for everybody when it comes down to being a leader right there. Um, you mentioned autonomy. I agree. Um, you know, her working, her wanting to exact her career and her dreams, nobody's robbing her. If anything, that's what I'm providing, a better way, a more efficient way, um, according to her, by the way. So it's like results may vary, do your thing. It's just, I am a man that takes charge, and I have no problem telling a woman to be quiet right here or speak up right here. Just like I have no problem receiving instruction. Aaron, you need to be quiet right here. Aaron, you need to speak up right here. And I stand on that. I will die on that hill. That's not a problem. And
Thanks for
he said,
clearing that
babe,
up, bro.
we
Yeah, thanks for
talking. We
clearing
talking.
that.
All right, all right.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
playing.
It's clear to me, man. I mean, you know, I'm in a situation at the moment, and I'm literally asking my wife, like, yeah, this is something you're gonna need to help me with. Um, you see, for me, another example. I'm a person that because I'm such a planner. If I'm not careful, I
Mm.
will overthink something to the point where I
I
will
get that.
have,
Ooh, I get that. Yes.
yeah, to the point where I will have five different plans. Now she is calm because one, she knows I've got a plan, but at the same time, she knows she can be more relaxed. So I'm like, how do you do it? You need to help me relax. And she's like,
Yeah,
one, God will do it, and number two, I know that we both ain't lazy. You know, you're a good guy. We'll both figure something out. So sometimes I just need
that's
to take the
true.
back seat and be like, you know what? Okay, let me try and do what she's doing and just not think about it. So
Mm.
in some way, she helps me to relax. Where other times, because I'm a thinker, I love to think. I like to plan things. Even when it comes, and it sounds stupid. Even though when it comes to video games, I like to plan how I'm going to kill a particular boss. That's me. I'm very like that's
Yeah.
seriously, bro. I'm very articulate. I like to think about it. I want to know if I'm playing with somebody that we're really gonna beat this boss. I need, you know what I mean? So that's
I
why
like that.
when I'm playing online, I don't talk as much because I'm really trying to kill this thing. Um, but yeah, I'm an overthinker. Um, so and in some cases, I may do more of the talking when it comes to when it comes to calling certain customers or not customers, companies, because the way I just put my words together is just a bit different, and people take
Yeah,
me a bit more seriously. Whereas,
yeah,
um, probably when she talks, I don't know, maybe they don't take her as seriously. I remember our dinner came late, and she was like, "It's been an hour, I haven't got my food yet." They said, um oh, you need to call Just Eat, but I'm getting the food from like we're getting the food from, for example, let's just say it was McDonald's, right, bro?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
McDonald's says go to Just Eat and complain, and I was like, no, that's not how it should go. So when I called and said, look, you need to get me my food. This is my order number and all this stuff. When I presented certain facts to them, they treated that more seriously because I've had more experience and I guess I know a little bit more of what I'm talking about. So that was my strength at that time. Does that make sense? So
That makes a lot of sense.
I've noticed sometimes when women call up, men don't treat women as seriously. But when another man calls up demanding when something hasn't happened or we haven't got this yet, they're more proactive because they probably assume that we're going to take further action than a woman. It's not a good way to think, but sometimes in life, sometimes that happens. I don't know. We should be treating each other equally, but I'm just you know what I'm trying to say, Aaron. So I'm just trying to
I feel like, yes. I feel like it's going back to that strength conversation. Like, a woman should be handling a woman. A man should be handling a man. A woman should know when to call on her man. A man should know when to call on his woman. Like, it's those things. I know my woman is strong here. Babe, make the call to this insurance firm right here. I need you to handle this because you can get the results that'll best benefit us. Okay, babe,
Mhm.
heard you. Babe, I need you to step up to the mechanic and really talk to him about this. We don't know about cars, but you have the tone. And I don't feel like he'll try to slight you. I feel like he'll try to slight me right there. And those are just examples, very traditional
Yeah, yeah,
examples. Have
yeah.
administration, for the phone call, and then you have mechanical stuff. Because I don't know too many female mechanics. I don't know
Mm,
too many female engineers. That's just the truth. You can even in the state of even in America, there's going to be more female cosmetologists than there will be male cosmetologists. That doesn't mean that the male is better or the female is better. It's just a choice. Like bro said, autonomy. Women are choosing to not be scientists more so than wanting to be experts in the aesthetic. Women are massage therapists. They are nurturers by nature. There's going to be care that their hospitality administration, hospitals, nurses. You see a lot
yeah,
of female nurses. You don't see a lot of male nurses. That's a demographic for a reason. It's not one of those things where because we live in a world where once again that word autonomy, we it's free choice. You can do and be what you want to be if you put the work in. So it's not
mm,
like a woman can have the dream to be the next Nobel Peace Prize winner of science and engineering. It's just usually it's going to be they're choosing literary arts,
mm, mm,
and you could look that up. I think it's like 13% of Nobel Prize winners are women, and 7% of that is literary arts, and the other 6% is um, engineering, science, and other accomplishments. But that goes to tell you, even back then and presently now, they're just not interested in it, and that's their right. But that's why there's certain strengths within genders because we're just attracted to other things. Men like cars and engines and sounds like that. But then that's how it starts when they're kids. But then when they get older, it's like I want to know why the turbo needs this injection right here to make it go to this torque and this right here to get that horsepower. That's what they're interested in. You start telling
mm.
that to most women, oh, cool. I like that you're passionate about that, and they'll listen to you. But they're
That's
not
what it'll
interested.
say. Yeah,
Yeah, like they're not they like the passion. They like that you're serious about it. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? And then you might run into that outlier of a woman who's like, yo, and when the turbo shoots right into it, and he's like, oh my God, she's in the cars and engines like I am. You might have found a match made in heaven or a really good friend. Who knows? But it's that, you know what I'm saying? And it's gonna always be that. They're gonna
yeah.
they're gonna be into what they're into and
Mm.
maybe it's a programming subconsciously, maybe it's whatever, but no matter what, it's what it is. And nerd level 11 sent three messages.
Yeah, let me play them.
All right, all right.
Yeah, I think I was a little bit behind in the conversation. I think I missed a bit of the nuance that you guys maybe have put into it. I don't think that people should have roles. I don't think that men and women have designed roles. What do you guys think about that?
Okay.
Mm.
Ooh, now this is what I was saying. Those roles to me, they're ambiguous because I agree. Because 1 minute it's literally about the negotiations within the relationship. I promise it. That's what determines it for me. And a healthy relationship, in my opinion, it can start off one way, but if it's a good marriage, it's fluid. It goes and moves how it's supposed to move, whatever is demanded of the relationship. That's the best and optimum way. Like going back to Nathan's example about cooking um, back in the 60s and 50s and whatever, God knows how long ago, women were running the kitchen up and down, sure. But now we are in 2022 where men are cooking that because it's a survival skill and they should have been cooking anyways, in my opinion. And then you have
I
women
mean,
who are still doing that. But then she comes in and she can be like, hey, I know a better way. And when it comes down to this kitchen and how to shop and all that. If Nathan is
yeah,
smart, which he is, he's gonna submit right there. He's gonna bow his head to his queen. You are right. This is how it should go from now on. That's the benefit of it being fluid.
yeah. You got a point. I mean, um, even though I'm a man and she's a woman, it doesn't mean that, for example, and I've always said this to her, it doesn't mean you need to do all the washing up just because you're a
Yeah,
woman. It shouldn't be tied to that. If we are both
yeah,
capable of washing up the plates, then we can help each other out. You know what I mean?
yes,
Um,
yes.
I, I, I,
Perfect.
I I remember when I was younger, someone in my family told me, Nathan, you're going to need to learn to cook. Um, and I'm going to say, I said, why? I don't think I did say why, but let's say I said why. I think, and they said, well, because women are not in the kitchen these days. And the reason why they said that is because everyone has the same equals and rights in the sense of when men go out to parties, so do women. And
Yeah.
whereas back then, when they expected women to cook, right now and here, people don't know how to cook that much or skillfully as well. So
Mhm.
it was a matter of learn how to do everything just in case she can't do everything. Not that I should depend on a woman to do everything, but there are some things that I believe as men we need to learn everything. And a woman needs to
Because if
know
you're, yeah,
everything just in
you're
case.
right. You are right. If you are a good leader, if you really want to have some final
And
say,
that
you should
too,
be
right.
efficient at a lot of stuff. You should not be no one trick pony. If all you can do is provide money and just, a dominant presence, that's not good enough in a relationship, a healthy one.
Yeah.
Now, if the negotiations are set up and that's all she requires of you, then never mind. That's different. That's different. Y'all in a different relationship, bet. But for my generation specifically, going back to that word autonomy and then what you just said, like you're required to know other things. Like washing the plates is a thing. Like you come home from work and you tired. Well, if it's a dual income house, she's coming from homework. She's coming home from work and she's tired too. Y'all got a decision
Yeah.
to make. There's no point in trying to do rock paper scissors.
Yeah.
Just if you see it, hop on it. And then if she's a good helpmate, you know what? We didn't do laundry last night, so you in the kitchen, you clean in the kitchen. I'm gonna do the laundry. Y'all find each other in the middle somewhere.
Yeah.
Since you in the kitchen and you cook, guess what you finna do? You finna go right to cooking. She went from laundry. Guess what she finna do? She might want to vacuum the house after that. That's what teamwork looks like. Y'all have to make y'all house fit. And then when y'all throw kids in there ain't no time to be you on diaper duty. Bro, you better go get that powder. You better go get those wipes, man. Stop all of that. Stop all of that playing. That's your little one too. That's your son too.
Yeah, it
That's your
feels
daughter
too. Yeah,
too.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, quit all of that. And so nerd is correct with that. There are no roles when it's a healthy relationship. You got to get your hands dirty. You gotta
Yeah.
push because that's your crib. You maintaining that.
Yeah. That's right. And
All right,
again,
the other one.
I go back to you can't just think about yourself. You remember
Mm,
we were talking about the a couple of 30 minutes ago at least?
you were saying that. Yes, yes. Yep.
Yeah. I played
Mm.
Nerds 2 voice notes.
All right, go ahead.
In the restaurant example that you just gave, maybe they treated you more seriously because you're a man, and we actually live in a sexist society.
Yeah, I was making that point too, and I was also saying it's not right, but it's how things are sometimes. But when
Yeah,
you both
yeah,
have two different when one has a weakness and a strength, or you both may have that type of strength to talk to people, but it's just the fact that they just take men more seriously. Sometimes you still have to use that in a
yeah.
relationship and use that a bit more. Um, so yeah, I'll play your
I
last
mean,
voice now. Oh yeah,
yeah.
go on.
No. Go ahead, go ahead. You covered that. You covered that because that was your point,
Okay,
anyways. Yeah.
I'll play it. Hang on.
You should be aware that we actually have bias in our society. When you refer to engineers, so in the STEM industry, so math and science, there's actually a bias against women. It's harder for women to get into those fields because there's pressure from the members of the field themselves, the gatekeepers, not wanting women to get into those fields because they feel like it's not their job. This is just another demonstration of the sexist nature of our society. We live in a patriarchy, in other words.
All right. So, see, nerd, this is where it's gonna get murky for you, big dog, because now what you're saying, sexist society, sure. Patriarchy, sure. I'm pretty sure you got data and numbers and all that to back that up, so I won't fight you. It's more like what I'm talking about with interest. You think that women can't overturn something? You're sadly mistaken, because look at the world. Women didn't have rights. Most women speak up, women have rights. Should they have already had rights? Hell yeah. It's the if hundreds of thousands of women, because keep in mind, women outpopulate men. In certain cities in the United States, it's 17 to 1. 17 to 1. If you think that, and I'll use the city of Atlanta, and then I'll use the city of Long Beach for a second. That's my home city, but the city of Atlanta, 17 to 1. That's the ratio for men to women, women to men. Sorry. And in Atlanta, most women are interested in being estheticians and cosmetologists. There's amazing STEM programs in the city of Atlanta, but they're not interested. You say patriarchy, but most women, if you sit down and speak to them, they're just not interested in math and science. It's not a matter of patriarchy right there. It's a matter of I don't care about it. I don't want to do it. Because autonomy, it's different when you start talking about autonomy and rights right there. Because they can easily put all their effort and start protesting and start changing the world, just like how they've been doing. It won't take long, bro, because it ain't been taking long. Women have been trailblazing. I mean, they've been kicking patriarchy's ass left and right, and they will continue to do so to what they're interested in, not to what um no, just what they're interested in. There's not. It's very wow. Two more. Okay, hold on, because I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna play it. Hold up, because
All right, all right.
we're engaging. We're engaging. Hold on, here we go.
Okay.
It's called the glass ceiling, and yeah, women have been continually pressing against this blockade that our society, our patriarchal society, has set up for them to overcome. But it's not like they just need to try a little bit harder to get into these fields. It's a literal bias. You can look it up. For instance, there was a study done where they put out resumes. The resumes were literally identical. There was not a letter changed between these resumes, except one had a female name and one had a male name. And the males got callbacks like 70% or 75% more often. That has nothing to do with the women's behavior. Those weren't even real people. That was just an example to show that just a woman's name can be a limiting factor in whether or not they get hired for these STEM jobs.
Hmm. All right. See, it'll be a loop. We'll have to, nerd. You gotta come through on another conversation because this is good and this is important. This is so important. But we're talking because I remember our topic. Intentional dating, is it over? Like we can't do this because you're spitting facts, but it's a matter of I'm not talking about a little effort here. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about I'm not talking about them trying harder. I'm literally saying just like how you said, hey, you can look up the example. Yeah, that's an outlier, bro. How many women are applying for those STEM jobs? How many women are in STEM programs versus men? If it's 100,000 men in there, it's probably like 10,000 women in there. And you can look that up. Like it's not, I'm not making that up. For how many females want to be an astronaut? How many females want to be a rocket scientist? Just you got to look those numbers up. That's where it is. The moment you can get millions of women to say, I want to be a firefighter, millions of women to say, I want to work construction, millions of women to say, I am interested in architecture and the schematics of the geological topography of whatever. That's when. That's when all of that will change. Because when millions of women was like, I need my right to vote, millions of women was like, I need my right to do such and such, all of it changed. And those are the facts. There's a history timeline to say, whether it's a patriarchy or not, women are the sole de facto to be like, I don't care if it's a patriarchy. I can topple that. So just hold that, bro. Hold that, and because we can talk about that. Oh my God, we can talk about that because I have a big problem with the state of patriarchy, and especially in the United States of America. This is more us right here because again, Nathan lives in the UK, so we can't monopolize this conversation. And he sent another voice note. We can't, nerd. We can't. We'll have to stop there. We'll have to stop there. Excellent points, by the way. You are a scholar, my
Mm.
friend. But now, to the that was great. To the topic. To the topic. Um, intentional intentional dating. Oh, nerd
See,
11, you.
I think I think we said everything. And I've
Yeah,
forgotten
everything. Yeah.
you was making a point, and it's kind of lost almost a bit. Um, yeah, I just think we need to be more active in what we want when it comes to dating. If that is marriage, and I really am talking about people that want to get married, it needs to be um purposeful with actual plans and actions that you're going to take towards it. And it sounds silly, but it, it again, if someone said to you, bro, you're going to have an interview next week, you need to put the preparation in for
Mm,
that interview. And actually not even that, before even if someone told before even someone says you've got an interview, you have to prepare to get a job. So you have to make sure your CV is correct for the line of work
yes.
that you're trying to
Yes.
attract. Now if you're trying to
Yeah.
line up or prepare yourself for that type of work, how are you going to line up and prepare yourself for that type of woman that you're looking for, including the characteristics that you're hoping for? What work
Come
do you put
on.
towards
Saying
it?
a lot.
You know what I mean? So do you just go online and just put a random picture up of Dragon Ball Z and hope it's going to attract a woman? You can't do that. You have to put up something that you have to put a picture of you, but that picture also has to be a very uh intelligent picture, not just a normal picture. And I was looking at an article where women were saying that men don't take um pride or practice in their appearance, and most men just upload one picture, which means for
Mm,
women, they don't really have a good angle on what this man actually looks like on multiple different
yeah.
in scenes and
That's
different
so
stuff like
true.
that. And um, someone actually showed me that I did a bit of research to get this for myself, and it's true. A lot of men are on a particular dating app that I was kind of reviewing for somebody. Um, the men only had one picture, and one picture which is quite interesting for me was a guy in a hoodie, tracksuits, sitting on top of a BMW i8 and looking cool. Now
Mm,
that will probably only attract one woman in this one category of women, and she might think he has money. But will that
hmm.
attract a wife though? That's
Exactly.
that's important. So you have to know. I hear people say a lot, but what's your target audience?
Whew. Yes, sir. What's the demographic? What you trying to do? Yes,
Yeah,
sir. That's so facts. What are you trying to attract, man? Like you out here on the I-8, but I mean, it ain't like you posting up pictures of your bank account. So you know what I'm saying? Like, you
yeah,
know, like because it's like you want to say you got money, but if you really want to say you got money, just do it that way then. And then
yeah.
post your bank account, post your picture right next to it. And then
You're right
there
because
it
that would
is.
do something. Yeah,
Exactly. You'll get
but if
everybody that you're supposed to get. But if you're trying to get a wife, it's you going nah. You need intelligence in there. You need to have a decent caption. You need to have some type of foundation. Probably need to have like moments where you're showing that you have a decent paternal side. All of that. Because that would attract a wife. Oh, we can have kids together. Oh, we can have conversation. Oh, he's not just a football head. Or he likes football, but he really
that's not what it's all
enjoys
about. Mm,
reading, or going to seminars, or just some weird things or niche things that can say that this is the kind of man that I am, and I'm interested in that type thing. Like
mm.
if it was, and you're right, a lot of men they're not savvy to that. They're not putting effort into that, and that's disgusting. That's annoying.
Yeah, and but by nature, when you look at a female's account, the females have it together. They have attractive pictures. They have a bio of them saying a little phrase or whatever. They have something
Mm,
there. Um,
mm.
and a lot of men's profiles that I've come across, it's almost like they could be a catfish. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
Yeah, I get that. I get that. On top of the I-8, but it's not even yours. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, you know what I mean? Like you're probably renting it, and then you have that picture, then you have different other pictures of random stuff, that you're just dropping into your account. It's like, okay, no one really knows what you're about, but at the same time, though, you're in loads of people's DMs hoping to catch a wife, but you're not showing a a um can I say husband material thing? You know what I mean? Like
There you
you're
go.
not.
Yeah.
You see, Kevin. I'm gonna say his name, Kevin Samuels. Even though he gets a lot of heat, he gets a lot of people, even on live. Sometimes he gets a lot of girls flirting with him because they're trying to get him because they know already what he's about.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like they know that he's about marriage for the long hold. He's not about just bouncing and running off just because something may get a bit hard. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So. And even for him, though, even when the girls that approach him, I know for a fact, and he knows she ain't the one because she's acting up on live. Like what you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
um, and, and look how hard it is for him. Look
Yeah.
how hard it is for him, and he's got the suit and tie and everything. He's got the social media. He's got the links, and still sometimes a good woman is hard to come by. So it's again, you do have to set yourself up though in a way that you get what you want. Again, what is your target audience? Who are you trying to attract, and how many different avenues do you have? And it sounds bad, and it's not having a player mindset. But if you want marriage, you have to think, okay, how many streams of I'm going to say income, but not income in that way. But how many streams of income do you have to make sure that you meet your goal? For example,
Mm.
if we're looking for a job, I remember my dad said this to me. He said, if you're looking for a job, Nathan, don't just apply on one agency site. Apply on all of them. Put your CV up everywhere on all of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because he goes, think about how many people are applying for on the same website you on, and also applying for this or looking for the same job as you. They're in the millions.
Mm.
So you need to make
Mm.
sure that you come across um, um, like you know what you're talking about, especially on your CV and everything. When you're in person, my dad says things like, "Wear a shirt, wear a shirt and a tie." And I was
Yeah.
like, first I was like, really? He goes, no, seriously, do it. And I did it, and I found that the people that I was sitting with that had the interview too, they didn't look any way as proper or formal like I did. So all
Mm.
and then I noticed that people judge you first by what they see, and then what comes out your mouth.
Yes.
Now, the same applies when you're on dating sites, when you're meeting girls, wherever, whatever event, you have to come in a certain way that says, you know what, I am a man, I'm about something serious. I'm not just gonna roll up to a like your business party, bro, in tracksuits and in a hoodie and say, oh, by the way, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna be, and I know we shouldn't judge people, right? But what I'm saying is though, is that there is a time and a place for everything. If you're gonna go to an important business meeting, come correct, man. Come with some nice shoes or whatever, shoes with jeans and a shirt. Okay, you might not have to wear a tie, if it's hot, and do your button a bit, but just look professional, look formal. You know what I mean? Like, don't come too casual. And these sort of
Yes.
things we don't hear men talking about as much unless they're a image consultant and all that stuff. But it is very important
Yeah.
for us men to kind of say to each other, bro, come on, man. Like, that's what, like I
Clip
told you,
your
bro. I love.
fingernails.
Yeah, it's like I told you, bro. I said to you that I like your fedora hat. It's actually called a fedora hat, but not a lot of people know these names. And I thought I want to know what these hats are actually called. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
Yeah. Think
everyone knows about
that.
snapbacks. Everyone knows about snapbacks, but what are
Yeah.
they actually called? I was like, okay, fedora
Yeah.
hat. It's a fedora hat. Say
Yes.
the name. Remember it, Nathan. It's a fedora hat.
Yeah, bro. It is a class of hat. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Yeah,
All hats
and
aren't
then
made equal.
yeah, and then I started to when it comes to casual shoes now, bro. I love Italian shoes because they're slightly made
Good.
differently. you know
Good.
and when you
Yeah.
get into to different shirts, I like my polyester shirts, but there's pros and cons to polyester shirts and all. It's so much, man, because you got to maintain it. And then I even thought about, okay, how do I wash my clothes, bro, in the way it should be, so I keep my shirts.
Mm,
and it's funny because women think that way, but men don't because we don't take as much pride in the way that we look all the time.
yeah, that is
This is
so
the
true. My girl get me about laundry. Like, you don't wash whites with random colors because there's a
yeah,
chance
because it
that
will
it just
mix,
over.
right?
And I'm like, I know that, but I was being lazy, and she was
Yeah, because us
recommending
men
it, and she's
we just
correct.
chuck everything in and hope for
Just
the
throw
best.
it, yeah, just throw it in there. And it's like such a man, right? And it's like
Yeah,
she's
and
on
look
me
at
and she's telling me, and
yeah,
I'm huffing and puffing. But then I think about it, I'm like, it's that. It's she wants you to care about the little things. Because when you go to washing her clothes, she don't want her whites coming out blue and red and pink. She want them
yeah,
coming out
I
white.
understand that. Yeah,
And that's the little things. And like this is man, there's a lot we got to do as men. There's a lot we got to do, and we have to shape up. We got to be better. I know we're way over time. We're way over
yeah.
time. Okay,
Apologies, man.
you know, but we it was good. It was good. That nerd guy, he's so cool. He's passionate, and he cares. He cares about the things that matter. Especially women and their rights and how things should be conveyed. And I like that because in future talks, it'll take men like him and us to come together to check other men to be like, yo, that's not how you think. That's not how you should be thinking
Mm,
if you're trying to get in a relationship. If you're trying to, if you're trying to be something else, or if you're doing the casual thing, sure, sure, sure. But in certain ways, you can't function like that. And I love that. I think that's good.
yeah, I'm gonna. He's gone anyway, but I was literally about to play his last voice note because I
Oh
think it
yeah,
was on topic, but I'll play it.
yeah.
He's gone now, but I'll play it and see what he says.
Oh my God, I cannot handle it. I cannot believe you're talking about how women care more for their appearance than men do. Do you not realize that is completely backwards? The reason why women care more for their appearance, why they wear makeup, why they spend more time getting dressed and thinking about their clothes, is because of society, is because our society judges them and is more visually based for women. So it's the society, it's the culture that we're living in. You guys are sitting here spitting out stereotypes. I really wish that you would think a bit about what you're saying.
I
Uh,
guess I spoke too soon. I guess I spoke too soon.
no,
It's
I mean,
unfortunate, nerd. It's unfortunate. It's
yeah,
unfortunate.
I mean, I'm gonna slightly disagree with you, nerd, there because I know that's how you would say society, but even when you look back in Egyptian days, the woman still wore a form of makeup.
Yeah,
It always has been the
it's
case.
always been that. It's like you can
Um,
look that up, bro. But we're not. We're just that's different at that point.
yeah,
It's like,
what I'm saying is though is that when women go on a date, yeah, and there are women. I know there are women that wear makeup sometimes because they're insecure. I get all of that stuff, but there are women who want to put their best foot forward, and they will put on some makeup. They that's not necessarily what us guys are looking for, but we are visual. Let's remember that too. But women will put a um they will put the best foot forward, even to interviews, and they will have makeup on. They will look pleasant to the eyes. They even put on a bit of perfume. Now, I've seen guys though who they won't get a shape up, they won't get anything done. They won't think about what they're wearing to meet this special lady that they are calling special that they may want to spend their future with. That's all I'm trying to say. But women have been wearing makeup for years. Like I said, Egypt time. I mean,
millennia,
they had,
longer than we've been
they
alive, bro.
yeah.
Longer than we've
I
been
mean,
alive. Like,
even
if you
some of
trying
the
to say that
men.
it's society thing, like it's wild because I mean you literally have queens of England making sure they put their best face for it, and
Yeah,
they run the country. You
so,
telling
some
me
think
that the
it's
queen
tradition,
is
and
bowing her head to some random man? She's not. She's wearing makeup because she wants to, because that's what she's interested in.
yeah,
It's not
um,
society right there. Like that's a whole matriarchy, and they still support makeup and aesthetics or whatever. It's not like that. And then pushing it a step further, you're saying stereotypes. You're saying society. What about accountability, bro? Like if we are aware, how many women are aware of society and the patriarchy that you claim is so running rampant, right? And that I agree with, by the way. If women are aware of that, why do they choose to maintain and stay inside of the patriarchy? You can say whatever you want, but because of the word autonomy, it's a choice.
See,
It's not. It's not.
and the women
At a
that are
certain
doing
point,
it,
you.
yeah,
Go ahead.
but see, the women that are doing it, I mean, women, a lot of, look on YouTube, you've got a lot of women that do makeup tutorials. They love makeup. They love it, and they know where it can
Yes.
get them. They
Yeah,
love it. Um,
that
and
goes
I've
back to
heard,
that interest.
yeah, and I've had a lot of women say as well they love when a man smells good, but how many men actually take pride in the way that they smell?
This is true. This is so true. Men be
You
coming out
know?
of work and then going to dates, and it's like that's disgusting, bro. You need to clean
Yeah,
yourself, man.
I hear women
It's
say that they love a good beard. So uh, I've got a cousin in Philadelphia, and she loves beards. And so does my wife, and I'm like, okay, I need to make sure my beard's on point. You know what I mean? Like, not that she's gonna like not
yeah,
lose interest in me,
that's
but I'm trying to
facts. No, that's
keep some.
facts. That's facts.
You know what I mean? I'm just trying to keep up the appearances. There's a UK program called Keeping Up Appearances, and it's kind of funny actually. But what I'm trying to say is though is that good or bad, women know how to keep up appearances. They know how to put what, yes, society would call as their best foot forward, or wearing makeup and looking a certain way. Um, but regardless of where it's at, most men like a well put together woman, regardless if it's no makeup or makeup, because a woman can have no makeup and still know how to take care of her face, and then you can have a woman that has makeup and when it's all off, she doesn't know how to take care of her face. At the end of the day,
Mm,
I'm talking about that women are very good though at keeping a good appearance, smelling good, keeping their hygiene in check.
mm,
I'm
mm.
touching on men. I feel that there's slightly a problem with it, and I'm touching on men. Most of the time, men just bash women. I'm not doing either, but I am saying that for
Yeah.
men, that we do need to focus on our image, which actually took me a long time to do. There was a girl at college that said to me, Nathan, you're a good-looking guy, but you're just bad. I was like, what do you mean? She goes, well, you're size slim, size S, but you're wearing like extra large stuff. Now she didn't know though that I had a insecurity about myself, so that's why I wanted to seem bigger than I already was.
Yeah. See,
So
yeah.
again,
I
so
like that she told you. I like that she told you that. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
so you know
yeah.
what I mean. So, but it's what you do. It's always important. What I'm trying to do is get good information out there to say, look, take care of your image, and if there is something that you're feeling that you're uncomfortable about yourself, then do everything naturally to try and change that, to change your perspective on things. You know, um, and because of that, I went to the gym. Then I found out that I was too addicted to the gym, and I got really big. And I thought, you know what? I hate this. I hate this. It's not
Mm,
natural for me to keep containing a size that is not natural. So how do I embrace myself?
mm.
And
That's a real question.
you know what I mean? And I really had to adjust the way I thought, even though, see, when I was 18, 19, women used to say, oh, they like tonk guys, muscly guys. And I thought, well, that isn't me. So I need to use what I'm good at to attract this type of woman that I want, that doesn't look at the, can I say, superficial stuff and all that stuff. And, I need to look
Yeah,
for someone that matches me and that enhances me as well. So that's all I'm trying to say,
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
women do.
We'll wrap it up. Yo, we got there's a lot of people. I don't know. We need to have
Mhm.
another talk soon. That's what I'm
I
saying. We need to
know.
have another talk soon.
Yeah, we do. But I do want to
Yeah,
end
yeah,
on
yeah.
women do tend to dress more better than men. That's all I'm saying. And there's more, even if
It's been
you
that
know
way.
what, bro? Even when you go into these shops, go into Zara, River Island, any of these sort of shops, Primark, there is more clothes catered to women because women tend to what dress more, and they want to. They love the outfit. Us men, we're very simple sometimes, but I think too simple in the way that we dress. It's
Yeah,
just very easy.
I feel like we lack emphasis, and I feel like it's like I just don't like the fact that we don't care about how women view us when it comes down to dating. I don't like that. I like to your point. It's like, bro, at some point you got to hear women when they're saying this is what I like a man to be in.
Mm,
The kind of women that you're interested in. You should want to bend to that. Um, you should want to bend to that side of the matriarchy. Like if society is running rampant as a patriarchy, and men are saying, hey, we want to change that, we want to respect women, then just start listening to them in the regards of dating, in the regards of requirements, all kinds of things. When Nerd was talking about um, uh, the, the 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 jobs and the STEM, and how people are resisting applications based off of names, like, you start listening, start changing all of that. If you are a man of power, if you're a CEO, make sure that's not you. Make sure you're not the guy uh disenfranchising women altogether because of a name. Because, whatever. Like, they're not just administration. They're quite capable in a lot of different areas. And if you have that power to do that, be that, represent that. I guess, like, in closing words, it's really
Yeah.
important, especially
In,
for the
in,
future.
in, in my in my closing words, I would say in life everything has requirements. You will never
Mm,
be in a situation where there is no requirement to get something, regardless of if you like it or not, if it's right or wrong, there is always a requirement. And as
mm,
human beings, we are doing very well meeting certain requirements if it's good or not. Yeah.
mm.
Um, and I just think that we can't ignore the requirements and kind of live on our own bubble because we think it's wrong, when really we're not really going to get anywhere if we live in our own little bubbles when we know that there is a requirement. If a female
Yeah.
likes, if the majority, a lot of the majority like a man that smells good, I'm sorry, I am gonna say, bro, the smell good, man. Puts, you know what I mean? Like, if you actually do smell, like,
Yeah,
I
wash
would say,
up,
like,
man.
bro,
Clean
yeah,
up,
like, yeah,
wash up. Yeah.
yeah. But
Yeah,
I mean,
bro. Like,
I've heard people say that, oh, that's the way that we're living in. Oh, you have to smell. In certain countries, they don't have that. But we're talking about where we live right now. The requirement is, if you want to get this is what you have to do. But in
because men ain't
everything
got,
in life,
I'm saying, their requirements. And it's like, yo, so y'all need to start, we need to start adhering to women's requirements for real. Like,
yeah, yeah,
be
we
that, and
do.
and
And
don't get lost in it.
there's requirements on work. You have to put in work in everything that we do. And I think people don't want to put in the work, but there is. It doesn't matter where you go in this world. Everyone has it has their requirements, and there's things that you have to work for.
Mm,
We're
that's
very,
real.
yeah. I'll leave it there. But bro,
Yeah.
um, I've got some more stuff on my mind that we're gonna have to talk about because boy, this went
Yeah, bro.
over.
Yeah. You already know. Just, bro, you know what to do right after this, bro. You know exactly what to do.
All right, man. All right. All right, man.
All right.
Thanks, Ned, for staying. And Aaron, I'll literally talk to you in a bit, literally. So,
All right, Nathan. Later.
all right, later.